Hello everyone and welcome to the lecture series of Technical Communication KAS 301. Today the topic for discussion is technical writing, and in technical writing we are going to deal with paragraphs. In the previous video we dealt with sentences. How do we frame sentences? What are the effective sentence structures? So today we will be moving ahead towards paragraph. So first of all, I would like to give you the outline of this video, that is what we are going to discuss in this particular video. Number one, technical writing, where paragraphs are being dealt. And in paragraphs, first of all, what is a paragraph? Then what are the different techniques of paragraph development? Also the methods of paragraph development. Although most of the part of this has been covered in your previous semester, but let's look over that again. So first of all comes, what is a paragraph? Paragraph basically is developing well-structured paragraph is essential for effective technical communication. And that we all know. If our paragraph, because all the paragraphs together makes a piece of writing. Let's suppose you are writing a letter. So letter does not consist of only one long paragraph, but it consists of different short paragraphs, which makes it an effective document. So a well-structured paragraph is important for effective technical communication, so that you are able to communicate yourself effectively. Paragraphs tell the reader where the topic begins and ends. If there is no such paragraph, how do you know that this is a particular theme of this paragraph? We read about topic sentence. So what is the particular topic sentence of the paragraph? Because every paragraph has its topic sentence. Even the common distinction between the paragraphs is, when you start with an introduction, then the body part is included, and after that conclusion is done. So the topic sentence of all these three aspects or elements have different topic sentence, isn't it? Okay. So this brings us to the definition of paragraph. That is, a paragraph is a group of sentences or a single sentence that forms a unit. In other words, it is a group of related sentences which expresses a single idea. So it moves towards a single ideas. See, the smallest unit is letter, which if together makes a word, and words placed together makes a sentence. And when you use these sentences, effective sentences, 2-3 sentences, well-connected sentences are placed together, it is called paragraphs. So paragraph is basically a group of sentences, right? It is related sentences which expresses a single idea. All the sentences will be having the single idea that you want to transmit. Next come essentials of paragraph. Now there are certain essentials of paragraph which you have to take care of, which you have to pay attention on which. So first one is presentation of single idea. Here single idea is being presented. A sequence of well-connected sentences. First sentence and the next sentence will be interconnected. If they do not have any correlation, then it will lose its meaning. Let's suppose I say it's raining outside and I feel like having pakoras, right? So instead of that, I say it's raining heavily, I'm cleaning my almirah. So it's not connected, but here you can connect it, right? Thematic unity within the paragraph, because every paragraph, as I said, has a theme. Conciseness, concise or brevity is the key for an effective writing. You have to be concise yet complete. And exactness, accuracy is also important whenever you are writing any kind of document. Now there are certain things that has to be avoided, the certain don'ts of paragraph writing when you are framing a paragraph. So number one is avoid ambiguous expressions. Ambiguous or confusing expressions should be avoided. Avoid verbose, too much wordy style, or use of high sounding words. High sounding words as in any flowery language, any language which has so many, let's suppose with the similes, metaphors. So they have figures of speech which makes it difficult, jargons which makes it difficult. So we keep it very simple and straightforward, point to point. Avoid the mixture of ideas. Too many themes should not be included in a single paragraph. When you feel the theme has changed, we should change the paragraph. We should cut the paragraph into two or more. Avoid the use of superfluous proverbs, unusual proverbs, idioms and figures of speech. That's what I said just now. Avoid repetition as it leads to boredom. So if you're repeating the concept again and again or rephrasing the sentences and giving the same meaning, it becomes boring. So you have to bring something new to every piece of writing. Next one is techniques of paragraph development. A paragraph may have variety of sentences, out of which one is a topic sentence, whereas others are supporting sentences. So in the whole paragraph, one is topic sentence, and other sentences support that topic sentence. Some are the basic requirements of developing a paragraph, that are topic topic sentence, unity, coherence, adequate development. So first of all comes topic sentence. Topic sentence could be called the theme sentence or the key sentence. It is actually the main idea of the paragraph, right? All other sentences in the paragraph explain or illustrate the topic sentence. So whatever you are writing, a particular topic or key sentence is given to it. And when different sentences which explains either in terms of facts or some information that proves whatever point you have kept in the topic sentence is true, right? Next, if the remainder of the paragraph does not fulfill the promise of the topic sentence, remaining sentences, the connected sentences, if not properly well connected with the first topic sentence, first, or it can be in the middle or it can be at the end, the paragraph will lose other three techniques: unity, coherence, and adequate development. It won't be there. Then topic sentence can appear at several points in a paragraph, either at the beginning, end, or middle of the paragraph. So it can come anywhere depending on the style of writing, what kind of style you are adopting to write a paragraph. Now I have given here one of the example in which I have designated as topic sentence. The first sentence is actually the topic sentence, remaining sentences are the supporting sentence. So I'll read 2-3 sentences to give you an idea what this example is trying to explain. The most important problem in our city is its poor public transportation system. So it has set the theme, the basis of the paragraph, that is, it is about the poor transportation system that is prevailing in particular city. Now, the other sentences which are following this are actually the supporting sentences, which are actually connected with the topic sentence, but is, you can say, justifying the topic sentence. Like, thousands of residents rely on the city's buses, taxis to travel throughout this large city, while the metro transportation system's daily schedules are totally unreliable. A bus or taxi that should arrive at 7:45 may not arrive until 8 or later, and so on. And in the end, what is the sentence? In order for people to get to their destinations on time, people must allow for waiting time at the bus and taxis stops. So this becomes a concluding sentence that first of all, we talked about poor transportation system. Then we stated some facts. After that, we concluded it with, if people want to get to their offices or their workplaces, either school, college, or workplaces, wherever they have to go, if they want to reach on time, they must allow for waiting time at the bus and taxis stop. So they should keep a buffer time before reaching the place, before the exact limit which you have set for reaching the particular place, right? Next comes unity. So students, unity refers to the extent to which all of the ideas contained within the given paragraph hang together. So whatever ideas you have presented in different paragraphs should hang together in a way that is easy to understand. one defines something else, the other paragraph defines something else, will actually confuse the audience, the reader. Unity aids the reader in going along with the writer's idea. So if I am writing anything, if my audience is able to understand my concept, then the purpose of my writing is achieved. But if my audience is not able to understand what I am writing, me writing a document is totally null and void. There is no use of writing that particular document. Reader can expect that a given paragraph will deal only with one topic. When a new paragraph begins, it signals or this signals that the writer is moving on a new topic. So this you have to take care. Whenever you are stating one theme, there it should be in the one paragraph. Whenever you think that the theme is changing, you should also change the paragraph. This you have to take care. जब भी एक theme आप लिख रहे हो एक theme में, उसको सिर्फ एक paragraph में ही लिखना चाहिए. Whenever the theme changes, it might be related to the first theme, but a slight change in the theme results in another paragraph. एक दूसरा paragraph उसका लिखना चाहिए, तभी एक effective writing उभर के आती है. इसका example, the most important problem in our city, the example of unity. The example of unity is employees' attitude at National Electric Company should be improved. So it is about the attitude of the employees at some company named National Electric Company. So improvement of the attitude is being asked or desired in this paragraph. The workers do not feel that they are working team instead of just individuals. If people felt they were a part of a team, they would not misuse the tools or deliberately undermine the work of others. Management's attitude towards its employees should also be improved. Now here, don't you think that the first theme was different? It was talking about employees' attitude. But in the second paragraph, because it should be divided, as I told you about certain copy editing or proofreading symbols, this stands for a new paragraph, right? So here there should be a division of paragraph. Why? Because now the theme has changed to management's attitude and not employees' attitude. So all the sentences here are supporting employees' attitude, and remaining sentences here at the end are supporting management's attitude and not the employees' attitude. So this is what you have to take care while framing any paragraph or piece of writing, complete piece of writing. Next comes coherence. Most convincing ideas in the world expressed in the most beautiful sentences will move no one unless they are properly connected. Unless there is a logical sequence of the sentences, until unless they are well connected, it will lose its importance, relevance, right? Coherence refers to the clear. It should be clear whatever you are writing, what idea you want to give to your audience, and logical thinking, linking of ideas in a paragraph. When you change the main ideas or topics within a paragraph, confusion often results. So no merging of different ideas into one. जब भी different ideas हैं, divided into n number of paragraphs, you can divide in so many paragraphs, and there is no restriction, no bar, until unless a certain word limit is given, right? But even when all the sentences in your paragraph are related to and contribute some meaning to the topic sentence, the paragraph will turn out to be ineffective if these sentences are not properly and appropriately, adequately cohered. Cohered matlab logically connected. Coherence is achieved in paragraph by different things, that is use of pronoun. Let's suppose I'm saying Aditya is going to the market. He is going to buy a toy for his brother. So here I have used a pronoun he. He is actually connecting the ideas. The second sentence is actually related to the first sentence because he is going to the market. He is going to buy a toy for his little sibling, right? So use of pronoun is one of the method by which we can achieve coherence in the piece of writing, in the document, in a particular document. Repetition of keywords or phrases if required. Certain keywords, important words has to be repeated. For example, when I am describing about coherence, you must have noticed how many times coherence has come into picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it could be more than 4, which I'm not able to locate. So the keyword is repeated again and again. Why? To give the importance of the particular text, isn't it? So wherever repetition of keywords or phrases is required, we do the same to give more emphasis on our particular idea. Now, use of transitional tags like moreover, in addition to, however. So these are used so that we get to the continuity and it does not break the flow of the sentences. Use of parallel grammatical structures. As you sow, so shall you reap. So grammatical structure you keep. The simplest example is not only we are going to the college, but also students have to give their presence in the college. So not only, but also and not only. These two are grammatical, parallel grammatical structures. So this is important for the effective flow. You can say effective flow of sentences. Last one comes adequate development. A paragraph is adequately developed when it describes, explains, and supports the topic sentence. If the topic sentence is not fully developed, or if the reader is left with questions, the paragraph has not been. आप समझ लीजिए कि पैराग्राफ जो है हमारा adequately, appropriately develop नहीं हुआ. So it should actually perform all these functions. Now, there are 5 steps involved for developing a paragraph. Formulation of the controlling idea. Controlling idea. एक topic sentence आप सोचते हो उसको place करते हो एक paragraph में. Then you explain with the supporting examples. Explanation of controlling idea. Then कोई examples डालते हो. Like I am explaining you unity, coherence और उसके साथ मैंने आपको एक example share किया. या मैं different domains of coherence explain कर रही हूँ तो मैं उसके साथ आपको examples दे रही हूँ. Why? Just to support my content. जो मैंने टॉपिक सेंटेंस आपके सामने रखा है, जस्ट टू सपोर्ट माय कंटेंट आई एम गिविंग एग्जांपल्स एंड दैट इज मेकिंग यू मोर you are getting the concept more easily through those examples because you are able to connect yourself. Then explanation of particular examples as well. Completion of paragraphs idea and transition into next bit. So the paragraph should not at the end left like that. It should end properly. Then a smooth transition between another paragraph should be there. Then only the whole piece of writing is adequately developed. Now we come to methods of paragraph development. Here, although you have done this already, again I will just give you glimpses of methods. Deductive, inductive, exposition, chronological, spatial, linear, and interrupted. These are certain methods of paragraph development. Now we'll quickly do this. Deductive method, as you know, it is moving the sentences from general to specific. The topic sentence usually come at the beginning, supporting sentences comes after it, that give evidence that the fact is true. Through example, I would like to explain you that is mental depression is a dangerous system. So here एक general outline दे दी, एक general description दे दी कि अगर mental depression हो तो it is very dangerous symptom. अब आप उसको एक एक करके specific हो रहे हो वो dangerous है कैसे? Why it is dangerous? First, it can affect anyone, be an adult, child. This is because of cutthroat competition in every area of life. Second, depression has no physical indications. This makes it hard to detect. Third, people have false idea that depression means madness. Clearly, depression is a deadly disease and is hard to treat. So at the end आप conclude करते हो कि depression जो है एक deadly disease है because of these reasons कि it could not be detected. कि कोई physical इसकी description नहीं दे सकते कि fever है, temperature high हो गया, गला खराब है, throat infection है, खांसी हो गई, जुकाम हो गया, right? So no physical appearance is there of depression, but it is a very you can say a deadly disease that can actually kill a person, and you must have seen various examples. We'll move on to inductive method. Here the sentences go from specific to general. Here you specify first and then you give the general emphasis on the particular sentences. So here you make an inference. So while making an inference, you use inductive method. Here the topic sentence comes at the last, supporting sentence comes at the beginning. So let us see. Aryan reached the office late today. He comes to office by public transport. He always starts early from his home to avoid traffic. Therefore, the bus he took today must have had a breakdown. So you came to the general thing that it must have broke down. एंड पहले आप स्पेसिफिक हो कि स्पेसिफिकली हम आर्यन के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. बहुत सारे लोग ट्रैवल कर रहे होंगे उस बस में, बट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट आर्यन जो ऑफिस लेट आया. ही कम्स बाय पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट. एंड हमने बहुत सारी चीजें बिल्डअप करी टू गिव अ जनरल स्टेटमेंट कि बस मस्ट हैव ब्रोक डाउन. दैट इज व्हाई ही केम टू ऑफिस लेट. राइट. Next, expository is to explain. When you explain a concept to a person, we make a lot of efforts to do so through examples, through illustrations and different graphs, charts, or different pictures, videos. We use a number of things to explain a person about a concept. So that is called expository method. Any Wikipedia article is expository in nature. So here is one example. Mirzapur is a crime-based TV series released in 2018 on Amazon Prime. It revolves around drugs, guns, lawfulness. It depicts rule of mafia. So पहले तो आपने एक स्टेटमेंट दे दी कि मिर्जापुर इज अ क्राइम बेस्ड टीवी सीरियल. अब वो क्यों है? क्योंकि उसमें ड्रग्स इन्वॉल्व है, गन्स है, लॉफुल है, माफिया एंड ऑल दोज थिंग्स आर इन्वॉल्व. दैट इज व्हाई दैट इज मिर्जापुर. तो आपने बेसिकली एक्सप्लेन किया थ्रू द एग्जांपल्स. मैं स्टेट क्यों कर रहा हूँ कि ये मिर्जापुर जो है क्राइम बेस्ड है? बिकॉज ऑफ सो एंड सो रीजंस दैट यू हैव लिस्टेड. Next, chronological. Chrono means related to time. So sometimes we have to give a background information of a person or event. For example, medical history, tracing the development of a country or a thing, and action down the ages. So this is called chronological. Here, topic sentence is written in the beginning, and sentences gives a history of what happened earlier, date-wise. So going to halls for watching movies has become redundant nowadays. A statement, a topic sentence. In the 90s, अब हम पहले 90s से बात कर रहे हैं. 90s people went to movie halls to watch movies. There were times of television VCRs. By 2000 अब हम 90s से 2000 में आ गए. 2000 में क्या हुआ और फर्दर हम आगे जाएंगे तो ये chronologically आपने इवेंट डिस्क्राइब कर लिया. राइट. Spatial method. Spatial related to description of a place so that people have clear idea of where things are kept. Distance or place. Topic sentence comes usually at the beginning, telling the name of the place. Here, PSIT is located on Delhi Agra Express Highway. On entering the gate, you will find route that leads to two opposite sides. Follow. So basically, you are visually describing. एक visual description आ गया आपकी आंखों के सामने. So that is spatial method. Linear method मतलब progressing in a linear way. So when you write description of a process in manuals, so जब आप प्रोसेस लिखते हो देन स्टेप बाय स्टेप आप लिख रहे हो स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट से एंड पॉइंट तक. राइट. एंड लॉजिकली लीड हो रहा है. इट प्रोग्रेसेस लॉजिकली. दैट इज लीनियर. अनइंस्टॉलिंग अ प्रोग्राम नीड्स अ फ्यू स्टेप्स. Start menu, then go to control panel, then uninstall a program, then select the paragraph. So going step by step. So this is linear method. Interrupted method, when you interrupt in between of the paragraph, the flow of the paragraph. Like many movies you must have seen. So I'll go by the definition. Chronological method, we found events narrated like a diary entry. But often in order to sound more dramatic and interesting, we break the strict chronology. We talk about present, then go back to past, and then start talking about the future. So this is called interrupted method. Or you can say when you are describing anything, you put some information in parentheses, right? That parenthesis, parenthetical information, if taken out, can then also retain the meaning of the paragraph. But if kept, it is giving an extra information, and which is actually for a little shorter span of time. It is breaking the flow, but then it gives you more information, right? So I'm a big fan of movies of I'm a fan of movies of superheroes. From Bahubali to Spider-Man, I love them all. Then the person talked about Shaktiman. That means he went to the past time. I even tried jumping off a terrace, but was luckily saved. Now I just use jackets and t-shirts to show my obsession. So this is why you're going back and forth to describe. Here I have given you a chart जहाँ पे टेक्निकल डॉक्यूमेंट्स जो आप प्रिपेयर करते हैं इन सब मेथड्स में बेसिकली आप कौन कौन से करते हैं. डेफिनेशन तो आपको पता ही है, राइट? क्रोनोलॉजिकल में जैसे आप प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट्स हो गए, प्रोजेक्ट प्लान्स हो गए, स्पेशल में जैसे यूजर मैनुअल्स हो गए, प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन डिस्क्रिप्शंस हो गए, प्रायोरिटी बेस्ड मतलब इंफॉर्मेशन रिलेटेड टू एम्फोसिस, सेफ्टी डॉक्यूमेंटेशन हो गया, प्रपोजल हो गया, फीजिबिलिटी स्टडी हो गया, देन जनरल टू स्पेसिफिक वाइट पेपर, प्रपोजल या कोई प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हैं, प्रॉब्लम डिफाइन करता है, मेथड और सॉल्यूशन देता है उसके बाद, दैट इज लैब रिपोर्ट्स, लैब मेमोज, टेक्निकल रिपोर्ट, experimental documentation. So these are certain example of different methods that you use in your daily life or that you are going to use as a technocrat. So I hope this whole video, this whole concept of paragraph is clear. In the next video, we are going to touch technical style. So what are the different styles of writing, techniques or methods, types of different technical style? So we'll be discussing this in the next video. Thank you so much, students.